Hello and welcome to what I am calling the Community Cast Library, Volume 1. As you all know, I've been asking for replays to be sent in for the last few days, week or so, and thankfully some members of the community have stepped forward and offered up some replays for YouTube, and this is the first helping of said replays. In today's episode we have 3 replays to go through. 2 of them are quite short, which is why I banded 3 together. I hope you enjoyed them. Thanks, guys. Hi there, guys, and welcome. In this one we have a 1v1 match between a 1900 rated Yudi and a 1500 rated Feather. Yudi sporting purple, playing as UEF, and Feather sporting orange, also playing as UEF. I've started in pause because there's a little bit of backstory to this. Actually, we can just play while the initial stages play out. There's a little bit of backstory to this. So the player who sent me this replay said that Feather initially challenged Yudi to this 1v1, and then without Yudi's knowledge, Feather disabled T1 air scouts and T1 interceptors. So just bear that in mind as this plays out. We're going to bump it up to +2. So both players opening first land, as you would expect. And we have first and second scout out from Feather, and then immediately his comm starts to march forward. Whereas Yudi is producing engineers, pretty much more standard, and as a result we can already see that Yudi's base development, eco development, is starting to overtake Feather. The scouts are now at the halfway point of the map at the 2 choke points. The map is Fields of Isis, by the way, just in case you didn't know. Fields of Isis is a 10 by 10. So Feather not building anything as he goes. He is basically marching his comm. Where? I'm confused. Where are you going? So Feather has a move order queued up, basically to the entrance of Yudi's base. Okay. Yudi second air factory, and it looks like he's going straight into a T2 upgrade on that air factory. And we can also see that Yudi's base is a little bit more developed than Feather's, and you'd expect that because of the first and second scout from Feather. Although, judging by Feather's comm, I don't think that he anticipates this game being a long one. I think that's safe to say. So Yudi has completed the T2 upgrade on his air factory at 3 minutes. That's fast. And we have some scouts out from Yudi with a tank. We're going to knock this down to normal now. This is a very quick replay, but it's pretty funny. So what we see now is a Janus out from Yudi, second Janus out from Yudi. Yudi only realised about a minute ago that scouts and interceptors had been turned off, and actually thinking about this a little bit and seeing what Feather is now doing, so we now see some ghetto gunships coming over. So for me, what the plan here was Feather has disabled air scouts and interceptors with the intention of walking his comm straight across to Yudi's comm and using ghetto gunships to kill Yudi. And of course Yudi would not be able to, well, he would be hampered in combating the ghetto gunships, but I don't think Feather anticipated particularly that Yudi would rush T2 on his air factory, and now we have ghetto gunships on Yudi and Janus on Feather. Also, stingers out from Yudi as well. So I think Feather's plan has severely backfired. Yudi now producing a T2 UEF transport, I think. Presumably just wants to get his comm out of there and let the gunships mop up Feather's comm, considering he's so content on committing suicide. And there goes his comm, and I'm kind of speechless. Kaboom! Feather is obviously beat. His plan clearly didn't have a lot of forethought there, and Feather just, are you cheating? Yeah, I use hacks. You're reported. Okay, not sure about that. So that was fun. It was short and sweet. Thank you for sending in the replay. I appreciate it. And guys, thank you very much. I'll catch you in the next one. Hello and welcome to a 4v4. The map is Badlands version 4. It's a 10x10 map. This replay being recommended by one of my fellow GB clan members. It was a good game, so it's been added. We're doing this. So team 1, starting on the left hand side, we have AngryCyclist. Angry is playing in white, starting as Cybran, and is a 1200 rated player. On the left inside mid position is Death Squad, fashioning his customary Cyan, also playing as Master Cybran race. Death is overrated 1700 player. Yeah, that's right, I called you overrated. Yeah, you. Anyway, on the right inside position, we have Naggl. Naggl is fashioning yellow, playing as UEF. And the last member of Team 1 is Mathew, fashioning purple, starting as Aeon. And then for Team 2, we have Fragment in green, starting as Seraphim. Mid position on his inside is F-Odin, fashioning a kind of greeny grey shit colour. UEF. Other in mid position is Google, fashioning red as Aeon. Google, why aren't you building anything? Seriously. And then lastly for Team 1 is Dro, fashioning darker red, we'll call it burgundy red, also playing as Aeon. Everyone opening, there we go Google, we got it, first land, okay. So just taking a look at everyone's start, it looks like everyone's going first land, nothing freaky going on. Nothing freaky going on, everyone going first land. We'll knock this up to +3. Probably didn't need to do the whole introduction and pause, but I'm new to this, I'm trying, I will get better. Naggl marching forward with his comm, as is Mathew. Mathew heading straight for his ledge, already has 2 land factories queued up. And Dro similarly marching towards his ledge, has a land factory queued up also. And on the other plateau, Fragment marching forward, has nothing queued up yet. But AngryCyclist not looking to contest the plateau at this stage. And Fragment does have a ledge build going on with his T1 land factory. Google sending power to Dro. Not sure what for. Did Dro just not build power? Dro not building power? As if that ever happens. Death now advancing with his comm. Naggl dropping a land factory at the front, accompanied by T1 point defense. Was that his second land factory? Yep, second land at the front. Fragment streaming a few T1 units forward, as is pretty much everyone on the map. Google has a little advanced incursion going on with some Aurora and a scout, but I think he's seen Death's ACU and has decided against it. Death just taking that forward mech's position there. So Battle of the Plateaus has been won by Team 2. Fragments was not contested, so Fragment taking his plateau quite comfortably, and Dro winning the battle of the Eastern Plateau. And he gets 2 extra mass points for his trouble. A bomber incoming from Dro takes out some engineers. It was immediately pinged by Mathew, and that bomber, hero bomber, 9 kills so far, and it looks like it's about to end its life on 9 kills. Yeah, hero bomber of the state getting 9 kills. Elsewhere we have a little force building up from Google, but Death is amassing his own Mantis and Scout at the front. Death is currently on an upgrade. And Google decides just to push in slightly and take out that forward mech's position from Death. On the left hand side we have a land factory going up from AngryCyclist, so Angry very late on contesting this plateau. Fragment having a T1 point defense down is going to easily deal with that factory. And now a Jester coming over, but we do have AA, so the Jester's not going to be very successful either. And AngryCyclist marching his comm away, loses his radar. Looks like he gives up on the plateau. So we have a T2 transport out from Naggl. And we're loading. We have ghetto gunships in the making. Naggl in team comms, I ghetto. Who's he going to go for? Anyone's comm right now is really exposed. Team 2 have some interceptors belonging to F-Odin and Dro. Dro's comm looking quite isolated, but Google's on an upgrade. Google would be a fine target, really. Def has just finished his gun speed upgrade. F-Odin coming up the left hand side of the map, away from his choke point where he's supposed to be, and Google pushing Death with his units, and Death bringing his own units forward, led by his comm. But in the right hand side we have an exchange of fire between comms. Dro and Mathew going at it. Naggl is moving his comm in for support. Need air now for Ghetto, and it looks like Dro is the Ghetto target. And not many interceptors scrambling on Team 1. They are now. And Dro's comm is dropping quite quickly. And it's well supported by interceptors from Team 1. And Dro is the first casualty of the game to a Ghetto gun snipe. Oh, Dro. Google immediately moving his units over to the right hand side just to try and maybe nip Mathew. Oh, Dro. Dro. So it looks like Google's trying to take and secure the right hand side of the map. Dro's former base. Naggl now scouting down the middle, probably to see if and there's a ping going out. Google trying to get Oblivion turret up. Mathew moving his comm in to OC the Oblivion being built. And now the units from Google being pinged. Mathew's been pinged to move his comm backwards, as is Naggl. So Team 1 withdrawing there. It looks like Team 2 will secure Dro's former base, but in the middle Death is pushing forward. That looks like a gun upgrade on Death's comm. He has a swarm of mantis behind him. Death being very aggressive with his comm. F-Odin trying to get some triads up and start the formation of a fire base, but Dro quickly destroying that build, and now exchanging fire with F-Odin. And now Death moving his units in. F-Odin and Google recalling their units from the right hand side to reinforce the center position. AngryCyclist pushing in from the west as Fragment moves his units central to support F-Odin and Google. Fragment now moving his units back across to the left just to counter this incursion from AngryCyclist. There is T2 PD up here, so that shouldn't be a problem. The real problem though is in the center, and Death toe to toe with two comms, two armies. Some people say he's overrated. I'm not having any of it. Withdrawing his units now. T2 PD up from Google. Shield around F-Odin's comm. Death just covering the withdrawal of his units and taking some Oblivion fire, and now is he overcharging the Oblivion turret? He is. He's got the Oblivion turret. Has he given up on this push? Death not withdrawing his commander. Google moving his commander in with some units. F-Odin now pushing his commander forward. And now it looks like Death is moving in his units to cover the withdrawal of his comm. F-Odin similarly suicidal now, pushing with his comm and nothing else. His comm being driven back by the mantis swarm of Death. Death's comm down to 2000 HP there or thereabouts. Withdraws his comm to a much safer location. And withdraws his units once his comm is sufficiently clear. On the left hand side we have a push from Fragment pushing on AngryCyclist. Fragment still on T1 units here by the looks of it. There is a T2 Rhino out from Angry, but the numbers advantage is definitely with Fragment, but Fragment not pushing the ACU of Angry. Death seeing the threat there and moving what he has left across to the left to reinforce AngryCyclist's position. And as Death moves left, Google in the center moves forward. Google on another upgrade, and it looks like Naggl is bringing some of his units in to reinforce center. He is supposed to be center anyway. Thus far, Death sufficient enough to hold off F-Odin and Google in the central area, and Naggl has been able to support the eastern side of Team 1. And if we just look at the rebuilding efforts going on, Google has got most of the stuff in Dro's former base built up now. There was a ping sent out as Mathew has snuck some engineers around the back, has got a radar up, he's claimed a mass extractor. So we have a little bit of a lull in the affairs now. Everyone just milling around, regrouping, working out the next move. Google just mopping up this engineer run by, I guess, from Mathew. Naggl ferrying T2 engineers to his forward position. And we have AngryCyclist. Looks like he's employing mobile missile launchers just to harass the units of Fragment. Fragment does have some T2 engineers up, so he should be making T2 land. We have what looks like the first Ilchiver from Fragment, so the numbers on the left hand side definitely in favour of Team 2, but Team 2 not pushing, and AngryCyclist seems to feel emboldened by that. He moves his units forward, he's securing this mass field, and Fragment now pushing his units forward. He may have seen the engineers. He may have realised that he has a numbers advantage and he should be pushing. Oh, and on the plateau we have some tactical missile launchers being built by Fragment. They're all loaded. They're all loaded. What's he going to go for? What can he see? F-Odin dropping a T3 artillery unit down on that plateau, presumably to move it forward and harass the enemy. Fragment not really scouting for an opportunity for that TML. I guess he could just go for some T2 mexes. But why build 4 if that's all you've got planned? On the right hand side we've got a push from Naggl. Let's go back into Observer. We've got a push from Naggl on Google. Google fending off that push from Naggl, despite the fact that Naggl is being assisted by Mathew. But Google now really does have double eco and ecoing hard by the looks of things. And we have a scout out. Fragment sent a scout out over Angry, and there goes the TML, and it's heading straight for AngryCyclist com. I don't think Angry's seen it. AngryCyclist going down to a TML snipe. What was it? Nobody knows. AngryCyclist saying, tell me. I don't think he knows. And there's another TML launch from Fragment. Where's it going? It's not heading for the ACU. It looks like the target is Death Squad's T3 HQ, and he takes the T3 HQ. And now apparently just trying to kill off the factories from Death. Fragment's moving his units in. Death's comms pretty exposed. This isn't looking good. I said he was overrated. Many people say he's overrated. And right now I'm inclined to agree with them. Death's comm. This is too good. Oh god. Death's comm being overrun by the units of Fragment. And Death's not able to do anything about it. He's gonna go down. Here comes the explosion. There we go. Team 1 now in serious trouble. They've lost both players off the left hand side of their team. Last two members standing are Naggl and Mathew. Google is doing a seemingly effortless job of just holding back Naggl here. Naggl still only really spamming T1 units. Naggl moving resources across to try and grab as much of this left hand side as he can. There's another TML launch coming in from Fragment. I'm not really sure what he could go for. I'd guess looks like the T2 HQ Air Factory. It is. T2 HQ Air Factory goes down. Naggl is building buzzkills to try and stop the TML onslaught, but we all know buzzkills suck, everybody. Oh, one thing I did miss was that Mathew was able to get this plateau probably after Death died, Google not being able to take that back. Although F-Odin is harassing that position with a single T3 artillery unit, a demolisher. And we have a fat boy being built by F-Odin. F-Odin doesn't really look like he's got the eco to do this, but he is nevertheless building a fat boy. Mathew moving hobs across from the right hand side to the left hand side just to try and reinforce the the effort of taking this position. F-Odin still has a demolisher on this plateau, and it's now got 3 harbs to shoot at, and shoot at them it is. Google building some that's a hefty queue of land factories Google's got queued up there on the left hand side. Perhaps he sees that the expansion from Naggl to try and retake this area is slow, and he sees an opportunity. How's the Fat Boy coming along? Fat Boy is 50% finished. Google's eco is... wow, there's a lot of eco there. Google's income at minute 23, 215 mass per tick. That is more than double of the next player. I mean, you'd expect that. He's had time to establish double eco. Naggl having a little push there, but not even coming close to doing any damage. And all the while this Fat Boy becoming more and more built, and it doesn't really look like that Team 1 are going to have anything to deal with that Fat Boy. Team 1 still entirely surviving off T2 power. Then again, saying that, there's only one T3 power unit up from F-Odin on Team 2. And now Google's starting to push with his own harbs. Mathew just withdrawing his lesser number of harbs. And these T1 land factories queued up here by Google, spamming T1 Arty and heading straight into the expansion area of Naggl. Mathew trying to control the situation with harbs, moving in the harbs, doing a good job mopping up the T1 Arties without much problem. Naggl just moving his combat, probably fearing the worst. And in comes a TML attempt from Fragment. Not sure what he's aiming for. Is he going to hit the com? Oh, he's so close. And we see it there. The Fat Boy is up from F-Odin, heading straight to the right hand side by the looks of it. Naggl almost walking into that TML from Fragment, taking out his power. That would have been hilarious. And now F-Odin and Google on the left hand side pushing. Well, Google's pushing, F-Odin's just taking eco and reclaim. And Fragment not really doing a whole lot right now. Not pushed to his advantage. And the Fat Boy is heading up centre. It looks like it's currently trying to fire on Naggl's advanced position here, but the artillery fire from the Fat Boy going straight into the cliff. And the Fat Boy marching straight up mid now. It opens on something it can hit. Oh, and Naggl's down. Oh, crap. Naggl goes down to what looks like T1 Arty. And Mathew immediately throws in the towel after that. You can't blame him. Thank you for watching. I found that very enjoyable. I also have a confession to make. I am Fragment. Fragment was the first name of my account. Although it was the other GB members that suggested I cast this. As it is quite a good match. I obviously thoroughly enjoyed it because I killed 2 people. So, you know. So, taking a look at the stats. Naggl getting the kill of F-Odin. So, apparently Naggl must have thrown in the towel as soon as he saw the Fat Boy, because There's only 2 kills attributed to Team 1. As far as the prizes go, Google winning everything. Clean sweep for Google. Winning highest mass income, highest power income, most stuff built, most kills. And no one really coming close to that. Mathew closest with kills, 172 kills. Naggl coming closest with stuff built. Player of the match. I think I'm going to award player of the match to myself. I mean, I have to, really, don't I? I mean, I killed 2 people. Let's completely ignore the fact that I did nothing else in this match. So yeah, Fragment gets man of the match. Good job, Fragment. Good job, me. Yeah. Right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one. Hello and welcome to a 1v1. The map is Desert Planet 2. And we have 2 players ranking around the 1200 mark. And in the blue corner, we have randomperson playing as Master Cybran race, fashioning the colour blue, and in the red corner we have soilworker fashioning the colour red, playing as Seraphim, both opening first land. I hate this map with a passion. Well, that's always a good start. Let's take a look. We've got a few mexes queued up. Everything pretty standard. So we'll bump this up to +2. Early engineers heading out from both players. Randomperson has a sizable build queued up here. That looks like 4 land factories and an air factory, with 5 or 6 T1 power generators to boot. And in the south, soilworker also has an air factory queued up, although his build's not nearly as big. Engineers heading out to reclaim. So second air from randomperson. An engineer heading out to the left to grab this expansion area here, and a couple are heading south. And soilworker pretty much doing the same. Well, he isn't really, because he's sending out he has a THAM going out with a scout to the right hand side. But he has no engineers heading out to grab this expansion area just yet. And we have a scout over from random. Well, they both have a scout over each other. But soilworker first to get interceptors up, and is currently chasing down that scout. I don't think he's going to catch him. So soilworker now just getting an idea of where random has expanded to, and he's going to try and hit an early raiding party on this right hand area, I imagine. Has he seen the NG? No, he hasn't seen the NG yet. He's seen the mechs to the north. Now he sees the NG. Does he divert? He diverts. So we have a first raid and first kill going to soilworker, which was actually an engineer up here. So soilworker sending out 2 raiding parties there. One of them not particularly successful to the north, but the one to the east hampering the expansion of random. Early income values, randomperson 19 mass income, soilworker slightly ahead on 21. Power income is neck and neck. Total mass collected, random is ahead on total mass collected, so random clearly picking up some extra reclaim there. And already we can see that soilworker going for an air presence. Oh, hello. Hello, little transport. Where are you going? Does soilworker have any radar up? Soilworker has 0 radar at this point and has no idea that this transport is going around the back. Have you even got radar queued up, buddy? No radar queued up. No radar queued up. Okay. So we've got a drop going to the back of Soilworker's base. In the meantime, random person sending down his own raiding party. He will be intercepted by these group of FAMs from Soilworker, and random just bringing back his mantis now, trying to regroup them slightly. To the right hand side we have another raid from Soilworker, and his raid will be intercepted. Well, I say will be intercepted. 1 FAM makes it through. 2 FAMs, 3 FAMs, 4 FAMs! 4 FAMs have made it through! Oh, shocking. And in the meantime, this drop to the south, engineer drop, and we have a little base being constructed here, and already we have a mantis out. And Soilworker still has no clue that it exists. That is not going to end well for Soilworker. So right now, if I was in Random's position, I'd be thinking, just hold the front here and here, spam up some units, kill his base, and then mop up. And that looks to be like what is transpiring. Soilworker is pushing to the right here, and there isn't a lot of resistance in the right expansion area for random person right now. However, his comm is in that area, so this push of FAMs from Soilworker probably won't ultimately be very successful. The Soilworker's seen it yet? He still hasn't seen it. He's moving his engineers down here to assist a max upgrade. Oh, but you could just see that if he was paying attention. You could just see that, like the little drones building. Well, he's gonna know now, because shit's starting to get built at the back of Soilworker's base. The mantis are moving in, accompanied by some Medusa, prioritizing build power, prioritizing the land factory. Elsewhere on the map, random person fending off an incursion from Soilworker to the north. Soilworker also has units to the south which he hasn't pushed in yet, and now he's pushing everything he's got in. He's seen the calamity that's happening in his core base. How did those get there? Well, I don't know. So while Soilworker is behind Random's lines and is killing expansion area, Random is in Soilworker's core base, just annihilating all before it. And only now is Soilworker starting to redivert units back to his core area to try and deal with this. But I think it's already too late. I think this is game. Random person's comm just moving across to the right just to mop up these THAMs, and then in the north the incursion that did breach random person's lines now looks like it's in retreat. But to the south, Soilworker's core base is all but totally destroyed. He does have a force trying to cut down the inside to kill this expansion base, but there is already a number of units swarming into this expansion area where Soilworker's comm is firing frantically to try and contain the situation. But it does not look like it will be to any avail. Nor is he able to do any damage to this drop base. So the incursion forces from Soilworker, any Ks, yeah, totally game. Random person fought off the incursions in the 2 areas he was struggling with, and was unable to do anything about this drop base. The drop base really won it for Random. So good job. Thank you for the replay, guys. I appreciate the interaction. You guys take care. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, help out the channel in all the good ways possible. Thank you very much. Catch you in the next one.